Although it's only like 5 books, they are heavy. Anyway, I wanted to take this part of the video just to talk briefly about the books I'm going to unhaul. They're just 5. They haven't even really been on my bookshelf, my small little book collection behind me. And I think some of those I'm actually going to give away too as well. So I'm going to go through these books. Some of these books I've read or attempted to read and wasn't able to finish them. Some of them I did finish and some of them I haven't even started. So let's get into them. Okay, let's do this quickly so we can go and give these away. Oh, okay. Starting off, I guess this one could be controversial. It could be. I think it maybe is. It's not controversial. I think it is controversial. And it's this book, Rage, by Bob Woodward. Rage by Bob Woodward. So as a background, this book was actually my grandfather's. I guess it technically still is his, but I have it and I'm going to give it away. Is that bad? Okay, anyway. So my grandmother actually bought this book for my grandfather, like roughly after 2020, after the whole COVID and everything happened. My grandfather is very much like a history buff. He has very strong opinions about things. He's very not shy or timid to share those opinions, whether politically, history wise. Anyway, this book, from the short bit that I read about 2 years ago, I believe this book was released shortly after or in the midst of 2020, after the COVID and Donald Trump specifically response to that incident, and kind of trying to view the issues of his administration as well as his response in the most like unbiased way possible is what I kind of got. Although everybody in the world has biases, I think he tried to do a really good job at not talking about them. However, I didn't get farther in the book, so I can't really give you a full review. So sorry. I got through the author's personal note about the book, so technically I kind of want to read it now. I feel bad. Anyway, but do I want to read it? No. I have no interest in reading this book because I have no interest in reading this book. So this is going. Second book, The 13th Tale. I got this book from one of my favorite bookstores, I think. I don't know. The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. I have no idea what this book is about. I tried to, when I got this book, I read the back. I thought it was interesting. Honestly, kind of the cover got me a little bit. I tried to read it several times and I don't think I got past the first couple of pages. It just was a no. It could be the most interesting book ever. I'm not going to read this. It could be a good book, but I think somebody will love it. It's just been, those books that you weren't necessarily in love with when you bought them, and so now they're sitting on your bookshelf or they're sitting in your to be read and you're just like, I'm a little bit disinterested. All these books I got used though, so I don't feel super bad about it. The next one I got was Robert B. Parker's Lullaby. This is supposed to be a thriller, I believe. What is it about? I didn't read it. Maddie and her mother's murder, and I think she's trying to figure out what happened to her mother. As I also mentioned in other videos, I'm kind of over thrillers, and we're going to be taking a break from thrillers for the rest of the year unless something just so utterly captivating? Is captivating a real word? I don't know. Let's make it a real word. So captivating enters my, space. Until then, no more thrillers, and I don't want to read that. The book that I've also tried to read recently is Flowers for Mei Ling, and no. I've talked about this in a previous video. I'll link it up above, but to synthesize it, I wanted to hear, it's supposed to be about Mei Ling. When I read the introduction about what the book was about, it was saying hey, it's about Mei Ling. It's about Mei Ling's life. And throughout the book, I hear nothing from Mei Ling's perspective. And I think that's intentional, maybe to a certain extent, that her life and the culmination of her life is always subject to the viewpoints of others. if that is intentional, if that is the case, I don't want to read it. And I did not finish it. I got through the first 100 pages crawling to get through them. And I just said, I don't have that big, I don't, no. Last one that we're going to be getting rid of is Her Secret War by Pam Leckie. I'm going to do this really briefly. I'll probably talk about this more in my monthly wrap up because I just read this recently. It's not bad. It's not bad. And I think that this would be so good for like a new reader. I think this is young adult. It kind of reads very much like young adult. It's just a book where nothing happens. And things do happen. I'm sorry. Two things happen. Just two things. I probably spoil it in the monthly wrap up, but for right now, it's lackluster and it made me feel nothing. And I guess it was a thriller. And at a point in the thriller, you kind of could already tell where the story was going. You kind of already knew how it was going to end. And then even after the resolution of the story happens, there's still like a good another 50 to 75 pages of I don't know, 75 pages of fluff to come to a conclusion that is very ambiguous. And then I realized that this is a series and that there's other books. And I don't think I don't have the wherewithal or the ability to read the other ones. So we're gonna put that one also in the unhaul.